is a short about a baby hedgehog named Hemlock, who lives in the forest with his mom. One day he decided to go exploring. And he had the best day ever. He made some new friends. He went swimming for the first time. And he got some yummy treats. This was truly a special day for him. It was 8 o'clock in the morning, and little Hemlock was waking up from his nap. It was a beautiful summer day. The sun was shining through the leaves, and the birds were singing. He yawned, stretched himself, and started sniffing around. "What's that smell?" he wondered. His nose twitched, and he followed the delicious scent. It smelled like strawberries, and Hemlock loved strawberries. When he got outside, he saw these 3 ripe and juicy strawberries right next to his house. They looked so delicious, and Hemlock couldn't resist. He happily munched them all. These were the sweetest strawberries he ever ate, and they tasted even better than they smelled. After breakfast, Hemlock wanted to play, but he didn't know what to do. He could play hide and seek with the butterflies or tag with the dragonflies, but he wanted something more exciting. That's when he noticed an old log nearby. "I wonder if there are any bugs under here," he thought. He moved the log to one side, revealing a small beetle tunneling out of the dirt. "Hello," said Hemlock. "Can I help you?" asked the beetle. "Oh, no, thank you," replied the beetle. "I'm just going to find my friends. Would you like to come along?" "Sure," said Hemlock. They walked through the forest until they reached a big oak tree. All around the trunk were hundreds of tiny holes, each one of them a home to a busy little ant. At the bottom of the tree, they found a small ant hill with dozens of ants coming in and out of it. "This is my home," said the beetle, "and these are my friends." He introduced Hemlock to the whole family, and everyone welcomed him warmly. Then the ants invited him to join them on their daily treasure hunt. The ants were looking for food to bring back to the ant hill, and Hemlock liked the sound of that, so he joined their little march through the woods. After walking for a while, they came across a big blue flower with a sweet-smelling liquid at its center. "Is that nectar?" asked Hemlock. "Yes," said one of the ants, "and we would love to take some back home, but it's so sticky that it's hard to collect." "Don't worry," said Hemlock. "I can help you." He stuck out his little pink tongue and slurped the nectar into his mouth. Then he walked over to another flower and did the same thing. The ants were amazed by how fast he worked, and they thanked him for his help. But Hemlock wasn't done yet. He wanted to try something new. "Can I see your home?" he asked. The ants nodded, and he followed them back to the oak tree. When they reached the ant hill, the ants stopped and waved goodbye. "Thanks for everything, Hemlock," they said. "See you next time." And with that, they disappeared into their little homes. Hemlock was very happy that he made new friends, but he was also a little bit tired. The walk back home seemed longer than usual, and his eyelids started getting heavy. But then he heard a splash, and he perked up. There was a stream nearby, and Hemlock had never been so close to water before. He cautiously approached the edge and sniffed the air. It smelled fresh and clean. And as he looked down, he saw lots of little tadpoles swimming around. "Hi, little ones," he said. But they didn't seem to hear him. Maybe they were too busy playing. Or maybe they couldn't understand what he was saying. Hemlock wanted to get closer, but every time he took a step forward, the tadpoles would scatter and hide. "How am I supposed to make friends with them?" he wondered. Then he had an idea. He quietly walked away and hid behind a big rock. Then he waited patiently for the tadpoles to come back. And when they did, he shouted, "Boo!" The tadpoles were startled, but not scared. They all looked at Hemlock and giggled. One of the bravest tadpoles swam up to him and said, "You're really funny." "Thanks," said Hemlock. "Want to be friends?" "Sure," replied the tadpole. "I'm Tater Tot." "What's your name?" "I'm Hemlock," he said. "Do you want to play a game?" asked Tater Tot. "Okay," said Hemlock. "What should we play?" "Let's play tag," said Tater Tot. "You're it." And with that, he disappeared into the water. Hemlock laughed and took off running. He tagged a butterfly and a dragonfly, but they were too fast for him. Then he saw Tater Tot and he tried to catch him, but Tater Tot was too quick. Finally, he managed to tag the little tadpole and he shouted, "You're it!" But Tater Tot didn't seem to mind. He just laughed and swam away again. Hemlock played with the tadpoles for hours, and he had so much fun. But eventually he got tired, and it was time to go home. He said goodbye to his new friends and promised to come back and visit them soon. Then he started walking back home, but he had to be careful. The sun was setting, and the forest can be dangerous at night. As he walked, he started thinking about how lucky he was to live in such a beautiful place. He had delicious strawberries for breakfast, he made new friends, and he experienced water for the first time. It was truly the best day ever. Suddenly, he heard a loud crash and he froze. Was it an animal? Maybe a fox or a weasel? Hemlock didn't want to find out. He quickly ran to hide behind a bush and held his breath. He listened carefully, but he didn't hear anything. Slowly, he started to come out of his hiding spot. That's when he saw a little rabbit with a torn ear. "Are you okay?" asked Hemlock. "I'm fine," said the rabbit. "I was just running and I tripped over a route. I'm in a hurry. I have to get home before sunset." "Me too," said Hemlock. "Let's go together." The two friends walked side by side until they reached a small clearing. The sun was setting in the distance, and the sky was full of color. It was such a beautiful sight that Hemlock forgot to be afraid. He turned to the rabbit and said, "Thanks for keeping me safe." "You're welcome," replied the rabbit. "It's always safer to travel with a friend." And with that, they both ran towards their homes, happy to be alive and excited to start a new day tomorrow.